Okay, so we have strained the honey, the sugar honey water into the flowers. You can see it in there. And now we're going to add the rest of the ingredients. First, we're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of yeast nutrient. And next, we're going to add the dried apricots. You can see it's steaming there, so we add it to the flowers hot. And then lastly, we'll add the citrus zest and juice. Okay, so we're going to stir that up really well, and we're going to let it sit until it cools to 85 degrees, at which point we will add the yeast. Well, this is about an hour later, and the honey mixture, dandelion mixture, has cooled down enough that we can add the yeast. My husband's holding the yeast over here. So what we did to get the yeast started is we put that packet that I held up before. It was it's enough for 5 gallons, which said on the packet. So I just kind of roughly estimated about 1/5 of the package and put that in some warm water, and we let it sit for about 15 minutes. And now we're going to just pour it in to this warm mixture here. This is 85-degree temperature. Just pour that in. Get all the yeast from the bottom there. So what we're going to do is we're going to stir this well, and then we're going to leave it in a warm place. We're going to cover it with a towel and leave it in a warm place for 3 to 5 days. And each day we're going to stir it a minimum of 2 times, and I'll show you that when we get there. So here we are in the stirring stage of our dandelion wine, and so we're letting our dandelion wine sit for 5 days, and in the meantime we're going to be stirring it, and I'm going to demonstrate that for you. So instead of kind of like, sticking a stirring utensil in there and mashing it around, basically you're just kind of letting it breathe. And because this is the part of the process where you want the dandelion to get oxygen. So we're just kind of clearing off, I don't know if you can see that very well, but we're clearing off the, do it a little bit more there, hon. Yeah, so we're clearing it off so we can let it breathe. I'm just kind of moving aside the debris, or I should say flowers and apricots, and letting it breathe. We want to do this twice a day until we're ready to strain it off. So here we are on the 5th day, and we're straining the dandelion flowers and the apricots from the juice that we've created. And this is how much we've got left in the bucket. See, I'm varying some juice, some flowers, some apricots. And what I've done is I've lined a strainer with cheesecloth, and we've just been pouring it through here and into this very large bowl. And Xavier is just kind of, you see he has a spatula, and he's just kind of pressing this last little bit, just kind of pressing it in the bucket, and then we're kind of putting it in there. You kind of just have to find the system that works for you. But basically you just want to get all the stuff out of this juice. Okay, so we're almost done with the wine. We took all of the strained juice, and it was in this big bowl here, and we put a funnel on top of our jug. We're just using this isn't just an apple cider jug. And I like using these because they come when we buy apple cider. And the last step here is we're going to put this airlock on. And so this airlock, if you've never seen one of them before, it's going to be expelling carbon dioxide. And then these little bubbles will come up, and then that lets you know that your wine is still active. And dandelion wine actually takes quite a while. We might leave it in the jug for as long as a year. We're just going to be watching this little thing, and when it stops bubbling, then we will be taking it out and bottling it. So the other thing to notice here is this is about how much juice we had. So you can see it's kind of a ways from the top. We're just going to add water and fill that up until it gets to about here. So it's okay to have a little bit of space in the jar, but you don't want to leave a lot, because then your wine can oxidize and go bad. So when we get to the bottling process, which will be quite a while from now, I'll make another video and show you how to bottle up your wine.